It's finally time to add some finishing touches to our website and make it live. I always notice if an artist has gone to the trouble of changing their browser icon or favicon. So let's show you how to do that. Whenever you're in Squarespace, you can hit this search and start typing. Now that we're here, you can see that it is a very tiny little file that we need to use. So many times you will add something and it will say that the file is too big. I'll show you a way to make a tiny little favicon that you can use there. I use a screenshot. So I just do Shift-Command-4 on my Mac, and then I can select a little spot. And this is something I often do, is just use a little initial. So that will save to my computer. And then I go to this area, favicon, and I'm going to add that file there. It's a tiny little file, so it's going to look pixelated, but it works in the browser icon, trust me. Okay, we've personalized our browser icon, and that will pop up shortly. The next thing I want to look at are the SEO names of the pages themselves. In the page list here, we can access the settings of each page using this little gear. You'll see that these are the titles of the page and the URL, and that we can enable or disable the page. So if there's something that you want to turn off of the site, you can just click this toggle. You can also password protect any page by typing in a password here, and then a password box will automatically come up for the client when they visit that page. Sometimes that's helpful when we're doing a limited release of artwork. So back to SEO, if I click the SEO section here, you'll see that it has been given a generic name of Gallery 3. So this is our gallery, but we're going to change this to artwork or view all artwork. And then it automatically will come up with your artist's name. And then we have an opportunity to add a description. This is what will come up in Google. This type of sentence will help dramatically for your SEO. So it's a good idea to add it to each page. Social image means the image that comes up along with the page when you copy and paste it to somebody. That's something that's wonderful to add as well. So if you were to copy and paste it into Facebook or send it in a message to somebody, this specific image will come up with it. So we can go through and add each SEO section here. In your home page, the SEO settings are a little different. When we go to the home page here, you can see that we need to edit the full website SEO settings. So that's going to open up another box, which is great. And we are going to enter our site description here. Your SEO description is important. It contains only 300 characters, and it has to be optimized for your work so that it can be found easily on Google. This is another place we can add our why statement for our artwork, but it should also have some nuts and bolts of what you're creating, like large-scale abstract paintings, because that's the kind of thing that someone would Google. You can take your SEO much further by following these directives up top here. The next thing to consider as you finalize your website are the selling elements. Let's go to the selling section and see what we need to do here. Again, we have a handy list. So we're going to go through the steps to make sure we've covered all our bases. We have added products, payments, add a way to get paid. So that's something we obviously need to do. I'm in Canada, so I'm being given options for Stripe and PayPal. You should connect Stripe because that covers all major credit cards. PayPal is another one that you can add if you like. The point of sale elements using Square can only be used in the US. So if you are in the US and you can use it, lucky you. You'll see at the bottom, our store currency is set. Ours defaults to Canadian. You'll have to look at yours and make sure that it is going to the correct place. All you have to do here is click Connect, and another box will pop up and walk you through the process of either connecting an existing Stripe account or starting a new one. It only takes about 5 minutes. On the subject of getting paid, I want to show you how to add taxes if you do collect tax in your business, because it is not in this section. So we're going to go into Settings, Selling, and then Taxes. Set up tax rates for your store. So nothing will be added automatically for you here. You're going to have to add them yourself. So this is where you decide what taxes you collect in your particular location. So in Canada, we collect HST. I'm in Ontario, which is 13%. We can, if you like, add individual province rates. So you can choose a province, add the tax name and the provincial rate. I won't share the rates with you here because they will fluctuate depending on your location, and your own business will dictate what taxes you should be charging. The next thing we're going to look at is how to fulfill our orders through shipping costs. Because of the delicate nature of artwork, it can be very difficult to find one price that suits all your shipping needs. There are many shipping options available to you, and what you use will be determined by what your business model is. If you are a high volume shipper, if you're selling small things, large things, giant canvases, if you want to be pickup only. Any of those options can be further explored in later tutorials. For now, I'm going to show you how we add a shipping option called Pickup. So we're going to add a flat rate, and the option is Pickup in Toronto, Ontario studio. Obviously, put your own location there. It's going to be $0, and then we're going to pick a shipping zone, and we're going to add Canada. So that means Canadians will see this shipping option of pick up in your studio. So at the checkout, they'll see a radio button that says pick up in the studio. Another option, we'll do flat rate again. We'll say contact me for a shipping quote. Again, that's going to be $0, and we can offer this in Canada as well. So that means when Canadians are checking out, they're going to see these two options, pick up in Toronto or contact me for a shipping quote. Neither of these holds you to free shipping for the client. You can see what their options are. Now, this allows your store to sell to only these two locations, Canada and Canada. So what we want to do is make sure we have another shipping option that covers other locations. So we're going to choose flat rate again, and we're going to choose contact me for a shipping quote. And this shipping zone we're going to set to rest of the world. So now your store is set up to take orders from anywhere in the world, and people will have to choose the radio button that says contact me for a shipping quote, so they know it's not free shipping. Again, this is just a quick way of getting some shipping options on your site so that it can be ready to sell. If you want to get deeper into shipping, I will provide some tutorials in a later lesson. Okay, so we've done 1, 2, and 3. The next one is to choose a subscription plan. And you can see that on the bottom here, we've been given this Publish Your Site button throughout. You can also click there to get to the same place. When your plan options come up, again, the prices may be different from you in your area. These are coming up in Canadian dollars. I'd like to just explain more about these plans so that you fully understand. The personal plan is meant for very simple websites, and it can work for some artists. The things that hold me back sometimes are that you can only add 2 contributors to that site. That means maybe I'm on to edit it and you are on as the owner. And you do not get certain options like custom CSS, which you might want to add at some point, and you cannot do any e-commerce at all. Another thing that holds people back is that you can't do pop-ups like for a mailing list, and you will not get much analytics. So that is an inexpensive choice, and you get what you pay for. This most popular one that they advertise does allow you to do e-commerce and quite a lot of features, which is great. The only problem is that it charges a 3% transaction fee. This 3% fee is on top of the fee charged by the payment provider. So typically the payment provider is 2.9%. And if this is 3%, that means you're paying 5.9% on every transaction. So when you're selling high ticket items like artwork, that can add up so quickly that it's not worth it to pay that at all. Instead, we go up to the Commerce Basic plan, which is only a few dollars more per month, and you'll see that there's no transaction fee. So for my money, I always choose the Commerce Basic plan instead of the business plan. And when you decide to pay yearly, you will save a ton. I always have the ability to save 20% on the websites as a designer. So if you are not seeing a 20% discount, contact me and I will help apply that for you. Now, after you choose your subscription plan, you'll usually be taken to the domains area. Because we didn't actually pay for a plan, I'll just go to the domains area myself by going here. So in the domains section, notice we have this built-in domain that makes no sense, but we can add our own domain. So we can either get one, that means you'll go through and you will choose from a list that they provide, or you can use a domain you already own. Once you put your domain into this field, it's going to pop up with two options, either transfer the domain or connect the domain. What this means is that if you decide to transfer it, you will be taking your domain from whoever is hosting it now, whether it be GoDaddy or Network Solutions or whatnot, and it will be transferring it to Squarespace so that you will only have to pay Squarespace for your domain going forward, not the other providers. This is an option that I really like because I like having my business simple and having everything in one place. If you do decide to do the transfer, what you'll do is you click here and you will have to go into your domain, say go to godaddy.com. You will have to unlock your domain and then you will be provided with this authorization code. You'll pop it in here and then you'll hit save and then Squarespace will work to transfer that domain and it might take a few days, at which point your website might be down and it might show a security warning while it does the transfer. And it's hard to say exactly how long they take. So if you have a show coming up, you wouldn't want to start this right before. The other option we're given is to connect the domain. That means you're still going to be paying GoDaddy, but you will connect the website through here. There's a tech component here where we need to actually access the DNS settings of your domain and make sure they match with these numbers provided here. That usually means logging into your domain, managing the DNS settings, and changing those numbers. That can be a little stressful for some, so I can help with that if you need to. And I will provide more tutorials in a later lesson on how to do this. We have covered all of the elements in setting up your store. The last thing to do, you'll see in our website settings, site availability. It's set to private. It always starts as private. So after you have upgraded, don't forget to go back and make it public. And that is the final step to making this site live. If you'd like more help on finalizing the details of your website, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me directly. I'm happy to help.